Hey, so what is 5G? Well, it's really easy, guys. 4G plus 1G equals 5G. It's really basic math. Okay, that's the video. Thanks, guys. Man, that was easy. Hey, it's Andy, talking tech. Today, talking 5G for the rest of us. And if you like tech, please subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified when I drop a new video. So yeah, today we're talking 5G and why you maybe shouldn't be all that jazzed up about it yet. But if you are, that's a little weird. But tell me down below in the comments, why? Why are you so jazzed about 5G? Okay, so Apple just released their first 5G capable phone. So I don't know about you, I'm ordering it right away. We should all go order one. Let's go. Okay, pump the brakes, guys, pump the brakes. It's a really cool phone. It's got a lot of cool features. 5G is probably not the reason you need to get one. Okay, I said a lot about G's already. What is 5G? It's really just the 5th generation of cellular network. So we had 4G, 3G, 2G, even 1G back in the 80s when cellular networks were first introduced, and they've evolved ever since through the advancements in technology and how many devices can connect, their speed, and their capabilities. And at this point, most of us probably use a phone that's 4G compatible. Some of us have flip phones still. And now we're gonna start having 5G phones. And no, Apple wasn't the first one to release a 5G phone. They've been out for about a year now. But given the popularity of iPhones, there's soon going to be a ton of 5G devices out there. And I know there's somebody out there saying, but AT&T told me I already have 5G. Let me tell you guys, if your phone looks like that, 5GE, that's not real 5G. And sorry, you can't just run a quick software update and turn your 4G phone into 5G and boom. No, 5G is a completely different technology. It requires new hardware inside your phone to make it work. So that means the radio, new modulation, new frequencies, all these fancy words. Essentially, you need new hardware. We can't just plug in the phone and have a new software update, boom, 5G. So if you really want 5G, go get a new phone. Okay, so it's the 5th gen. Who cares? Well, it turns out this latest generation of cellular technology has a lot of promising features. First and foremost, it's fast, guys. It is super fast. We're talking lightning fast. Here's some speeds, compare 4G, 5G. We're talking speeds at times that is likely faster than your home internet service. And yeah, with those speeds, I'm sure it's gonna start draining a lot of battery, but as technology gets better, I'm sure the devices are gonna adapt to overcome that somehow. Latency along with speed, it's a lot quicker to react to requests. So that means two devices can communicate with one another in near real time. And this, I'm gonna explain why that may be important. I mentioned frequency, and 5G is defined to use a very wide spectrum of frequencies for various applications. One for far reach, the other for super high speed. And lastly, it's really expanding on how many devices can you connect to a single channel in 5G. So by channel, I mean there's a cell tower that's emitting certain channels, and let's say you can only connect 10 phones in 4G to one channel. Well, with 5G, you can connect 100. So the density gets much, much bigger, making a lot more compatibility for a lot more devices. Okay, all those features are really cool, but is any of that important? The short answer is yes, but it depends. For you and for me, it probably doesn't matter, right? Unless I'm downloading a huge movie file on my phone when I'm out in the middle of nowhere, not on my home Wi-Fi. Maybe I do need those speeds. Maybe I'm doing it so often that I need it to do really fast. So maybe for some of you, it's gonna matter. For most of us, probably not, but it's gonna matter for some. So let's talk about why. First reason it doesn't matter is it's not that available yet. Yes, 5G is here, but it's not here. It's not even over there. Maybe it's way over there in the big city, but it's not here yet. And that's part of the problem. You see, when a new cellular technology comes out, it takes time, right, for that technology to reach the mass population. Not only because of device adoption, you need new devices in the marketplace to take advantage of those new technologies, but also with something like a cellular network, we need the cell carriers, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, we need them to put in the infrastructure. And because 5G is a completely new technology versus the past generations of cell network, that means they have to install new hardware across the country. And that's going to take some time, right? Okay, so it's not that available yet. It will be soon, but we are hearing from some of the carriers that nationwide 5G is here. Sort of. So we saw this commercial recently, right? With Chris Rock driving under the giraffe, talks about ultra wideband and how this is a game changer. Well, it is, but that depends on where you live. You see ultra wideband, and you can see how he points to it here. This is when we talk about ultra wideband, we're just talking like super high frequencies, right? Millimeter wave, as it also is referred to as. But the problem with super high frequency cell signals is they don't travel very far. So we're talking maybe a millimeter wave ultra wideband signal might only be available within an intersection of a street, for example, or one city block. That's about it. If we need to disperse that signal further, then we either need to install cell antennas on every street corner in the city or put them on everybody's house in the country. And that's just not feasible, right? So the other end of the spectrum, there is the low band. And this is the technology that the likes of T-Mobile and AT&T are deploying. And this is how they're claiming nationwide 5G. So yes, on the low band side, it's lower frequency, it's much farther reaching. So they can claim that they are close to blanketing the country with 5G coverage. So why do I say that it's not really that important? Well, when we deploy low band 5G, we're not benefiting from any of those super high speeds that we talked about. We're probably closer to the speeds still in the nature of 4G. And because of that, there's really no difference, right? We want those super high speeds, low latencies, and that's where those high frequencies come in, but then the range gets shorter. So here you see the trade-off. So the utility companies are really gonna have a hard time deploying a mix and match of these different bands to cover all of the country to make sure everybody can benefit from this 5G. And to give you maybe an example that hits closer to home, most of us have Wi-Fi. Most of us know about dual band Wi-Fi, right? 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. Most of your devices that are high-speed devices, your phone, your tablet, you probably connect those to your 5G network, your 5 gigahertz network in your home. 5 gigahertz, not to be compared with 5G. But some devices in your home only connected at 2.4 gigahertz network, right? Some of those devices in your smart home, for example. What is a smart home? Well, that's a topic for another video, guys. So the same thing applies here on a 5 gigahertz network, high speeds, on a 2.4 gigahertz network, lower speeds, farther reach. So this is just a function of physics with frequency and the range. Also penetration comes into play. The lower the frequency, the greater the penetration through buildings and things. The higher the frequency, the lower the penetration through material. So for me and you, like we talked about, maybe not too useful, but in industry, big business, they're thinking differently. They're thinking the IoT. What did you just say? The what? The IoT, guys. Sorry, that's another topic for another video. Check that one out. But the IoT, this is essentially where the Internet of Things, where things are going to talk to other things, and to really make our future state of autonomy available. Maybe there's two autonomous cars traveling down the road. They need to talk to each other so they know where each other are in space. They need this 5G, super high speed communication, low latency to communicate in real time, right? And autonomous cars is just the easy example, but in a smart city, maybe there's intelligent traffic lights and other things to control the flow of your commute, whatever. But also, more importantly, with IoT is the Industry 4.0, where in manufacturing, in the industrial world, there are smart machines all talking to each other. And this is going to get critical for those machines to talk in real time, communicate. Again, low latency, high speed. But I know a lot of us don't work in industry, so maybe that's not that interesting. But this is why these cell carriers are going to make huge investments to put this foundation in there, because it's going to be a huge enabler for things to come. Okay, so how far are we away from 5G? Well, I just told you we're at 4G. There's only one more G to go. We're that close. Okay, but really, it depends on the level of investment that the four major carriers want to make. So again, we talked about what kind of work it's going to take to get there, putting in new cell towers across the country, new infrastructure, laying the groundwork for this coverage. It's going to take some time. And also, like I mentioned, the other side of things, we're going to need devices on the other side of it that are going to be able to take advantage and connect to that new network, that new technology. Some countries are a little further ahead than we are, namely South Korea and China, where their governments heavily subsidize and prioritize the laying of the foundation for 5G. And they basically are close to, at least the time of this recording, are close to having complete coverage, 5G coverage across their countries. So how far are we away from 5G? Well, before I answer that, guys, please let me know if you're getting any value out of this video by hitting that like button. And if you already bought a 5G phone, let me know what model down in the comments below. But I would expect within the next couple years, this is going to be a ubiquitous technology. We're not going to be talking about 4G anymore. Everything's going to be 5G, and maybe we'll even stop talking about 5G because it's going to be that common. So going back to the beginning, should you rush out to get a new iPhone? Maybe not. Not because it's 5G, at least. Maybe you want a new camera, updated phone, some new specs. Maybe you're on your refresh cycle. Great. Go buy a new phone. Just don't do it because of the 5G. So I think 5G is going to revolutionize our world. Just not yet.